Jai Brzeski.
And Kate Brzeski.
Welcome to the JK Show.
I believe it's episode 16.
We believe it's episode 16, roughly. So this will actually be our last episode for the year because we are coming in towards Christmas time. So we're going to bring you some new stuff next year, which is going to be exciting and fun. But for now, we're going to talk about something that is important to you and important to me and important to Kate and everybody else. And that is nutrition and being healthy and tips for how to be healthy with your nutrition. So there's different elements as to why we want to talk about this specifically. There's obviously the longevity factor. So, something that is sad to me is that in Western medicine, we don't have a high focus on nutrition. It's more about it's not so much about preventative. It's more about reactive. Yeah. So it's take this pill and see me in a week sort of thing. So it's either going to be some kind of anti-inflammatory or some kind of like antibiotic or something like that to basically break down a problem that you've built up through your lifestyle. So it's really evident now that our lifestyles, how we choose to live our lives, are directly related to the quality of health and the level of longevity that we experience in our life. So for us, nutrition is a really important factor, and for you it is as well. So longevity is one thing. Another thing is weight loss. Again, a lot of people think that they don't lose weight because they're lazy or because they don't exercise. And sure, exercising and movement is a big part of not only weight loss, but all other elements of health. But the real contributing factor behind obesity and putting on weight is, again, nutrition. It's the things that you're eating. If you're going, what's going to happen if you go to McDonald's every week and that's part of your routine. If you're having McDonald's and you're drinking alcohol every single weekend, I think anybody would find it hard to lose weight. So that's what we're talking about. And we don't have to be fanatical about it. It's just about being smart about it. And that's what we're all about. We're about working smart, not working hard. So a lot of people try to outwork their bad diets. They try to, over-exercise because they're not eating the right foods and they're not losing weight.
And so that just puts the body under more stress as well.
Puts more pressure, you burn out, you don't get results as well, which is deflating.
If you're training a lot, you need optimal nutrition to make you feel better and for your body to recover from the training.
Yes, so that's a big key there. There's also obviously the energy factor. The healthier food you eat, the more vegetables you eat, the more energy you have. The more water you drink, the more energy you have.
You can pretty much go like any type of diet. There's people that are pro meat, no meat, high carb, low carb, high fat, whatever. But everyone is pro veggies. So.
And that's it. And whether you're a meat eater or not a meat eater, it doesn't really matter, because let's say you're a meat eater, then the idea is to get the healthiest meat. Okay, so you get the meat that's organic, the meat that doesn't have chemicals in it and hormones and the cattle aren't being neglected and treated in an inhumane way, and they're being fed grass, which is what cows need to be healthy. So if you're eating beef and it's coming from a cow that doesn't have good nutrition, then that meat is not healthy. And a lot of the conventionally farmed meat, they have practices that are not the best ever. So they do things like they spray, is it nitric oxide on the meat?
To make them look.
To make it look red and delicious and things like that.
I can't remember if it was that, but yeah.
They spray chemicals. They do a lot of different types of things. I mean, I don't know a whole lot about meat. I don't eat meat. It's not my thing. I don't research it. I've done enough research to know that it's not good for me, so I don't eat that. But if you do eat meat, then you want to go for the highest quality. Same thing with your vegetables. You want to get the highest quality vegetables. For example, conventionally grown cherries are sprayed with a red food coloring so that they look nice. So that red food coloring is toxic. So we need to really kind of do our own research and not rely on, just sort of mainstream information that's going around, because it's not quite enough, in my opinion. So another element about, nutrition and a thing that it's good for is also not getting sick. Your immune system will increase and boost up the healthier you eat, and it will drop down, obviously, the worse you eat. So if you find that you're getting sick a lot, this is something that you can do to reverse that, is to start to change your nutrition and improve your nutrition and you will not only heal yourself, but you will be in prevention mode where you don't get sick, which is a really fantastic place to be. And then we also have your hormones. So particularly for women, but also for men, getting your hormone levels at their optimum place is highly, highly important. So there's all sorts of different illnesses that can arise from not having your hormones in balance. And we balance our hormones by having superfoods that are adaptogenic. Foods like maca, goji berries, just eating a lot of vegetables in general are going to give us that balance that we need. So that's another important element. And then the final thing is mood and mindset. When you eat really like unhealthy takeaway junk food, pizzas or McDonald's or KFC or any of these things, or a lot of sugar, high sugar diets, they're very low in nutrients. And when you have a nutrient deficient diet, then you can have mood swings, you can have energy drops that can create agitation.
It makes you want to eat more.
Yeah, and it kind of just throws off your mindset. Like it can make you like a little bit down.
It's almost like a hangover, like you get, food hangover. So it's so important to the way that you feel.
Yeah. So those are the kind of like the key benefits of having a good nutrition in your life. So I mean, that's important to me, and it should be important to you as well. So what are some tips? I want to give you like 3 different elements of living a life where you are taking care of your nutrition, and things that you can apply to your life immediately. So the first thing is your shopping, right? Because if you do your shopping, say once a week, then what you bring home that's the quality of nutrition that you're going to have for that week. If you're predominantly eating at home and not eating out or traveling or whatnot, then the food that you bring home from one shop is going to determine your whole week of health. So some tips that we can give you for when you're shopping. Firstly, don't shop when you're hungry, because you're going to have cravings, right? And so you're gonna want to have things that you don't necessarily need, and then they're in the house for the week. So definitely you want to go on a full stomach. The next thing is you don't want to go down the aisles. You only want to stay around the perimeter of the shopping centre, of the Woolworths or whatever it is. Because
the healthier stuff is on the outside.
Exactly.
So you've got your fresh fruit, your fresh veggies, meats. That's about it, really. There's not much else that you need.
Toilet paper and cleaning products, but that's generally the only time you should be going into the aisles. And there is some health stuff. I think there's like some macro.
Yeah, like there's. I mean, you can get some nuts and some stuff like that, but the majority of the stuff is you need is on the outside, or even one step further, go to the farmers markets and. Yeah,
I mean, we don't promote these big shopping, stores like Woolworths and Coles and all that. We're not really a huge fan. We use them when we need to. But every weekend we make an event to go out and find a local farmers market, and we go and buy our organic produce. It's cheaper. We're supporting local growers.
Straight to the farmer. You're talking to the farmer about their food, which is good.
There's no importing, shipping, environmental impact.
Majority of the time we go there, they're like, oh, we picked this yesterday, or we grabbed this, this morning or something. So.
And it's such a different experience because you build a relationship with the farmer. You build a relationship with the person who's actually growing the food, and there's a lot of love in that. And it's a really nice experience to be able to go and pick up your veggies from somebody who you trust and who you like, rather than like just a massive conglomerate like Woolworths or Coles. So again, I mean, it's not practical for everybody, but hey, there's farmers markets in every town, in every city. So
and if not, shop the outsides of Woolies.
Yeah, exactly. Coles, stick to the outside, stick to that perimeter of the store. So that's the shopping element. So that's like the first step. You really want to get that right, because the things that you're going to bring home, that's what you've got to work with for the week. So that's setting you up, right? So that's one element. And then the next element is eating out, because there's always times when we're eating out. And so we need to be smart about this. Again, we're working smart. We're not working hard, or we're not working off the back foot. So the main thing the point I want to drive across is, don't be a victim when it comes to eating out, because it's often used as an excuse for not being healthy. It's like, I eat out so much because I have these functions, or my work requires me to meet with clients maybe, or my family very social and we do these things, or whatever. It's all good. I understand, but the thing is you're going there. If you're eating out and you're catching up with friends and family, you're not going there to stuff your face. You're going there to spend time with people who you care about and who you enjoy spending time with. So, what's the reason? What's your why for eating out?
A lot of people even think that they can't not eat a main meal, or
many times we've just eaten off the entrees because the main meals have been crap and we haven't been able to choose the restaurant. So firstly, I would suggest is to choose the restaurant. See if you can choose the restaurant.
Yeah, have a say.
Have a say. It's you're putting this in your body. It's what other people's opinions are of what you eat. That's none of their business. They have no place to say what you should and shouldn't be eating, and try and kind of peer pressure you or coax you into going to an unhealthy restaurant or eating bad food. So have your say first and foremost. But if you're in a situation where you've been invited to a birthday, or you don't work functions, you don't obviously you don't have a choice there in terms of where the venue is most of the times. So the next thing is to do your research and go online. Pretty much all restaurants nowadays have a website and they have a menu online. So what Kate and I always do is we check out their website and we have a look at their menu and we actually decide what we want to eat before we go. It takes 5 minutes. You get to have a look at everything on their whole menu and you can decide what the healthiest thing is to eat, and then you just know what you're eating when you get there. So because you go into the restaurant and then you can smell all the aromas of all the beautiful food, and it kind of gets your taste buds going, or gets you craving things, or maybe you see across the table somebody's eating something really heavy and you might want to have that, like a big burger or whatever. So if you already go in there and you know what you want to eat, then it's just a matter of being disciplined, and we can all be disciplined, and that's a choice. So choose before you go. That's the key thing here. And if necessary, if you're going to an absolutely horrible place that just do not have healthy food at all, eat before you go. I've done this many times as well. Eat before you go. Fill yourself up, so then when you go there, just have something really light. Have just an entree, like I said. Whether it's a salad or something like that. Just who cares, man? Seriously, you're going there to catch up with your friends. Who cares what you're eating?
It's easier to talk when you don't have a mouthful of food.
That's it. Do all the talking. I find that I can never finish my meal when I'm the one who's predominantly talking.
Yeah.
So do all the talking. So what else?
Just the other one was if you are going out, and so tomorrow is our wedding anniversary, and we've chosen a restaurant to go to, of food that we do want to go and eat at, and the calories are going to be super high, and we know that, and we chose that, and we made that decision last week. So we've had a really light week. Today we're having a raw day, so just all raw food.
Lots of water.
Yeah, I had an apple this morning. We've had a salad. I'm gonna have some juice, and if we need something, maybe a smoothie. But we'll probably be fine. And then another light day tomorrow, leading into the dinner, and then we go there, and we've sort of planned for that through the week. And
doesn't set us back.
It's okay to do on the occasion. It's when it's every week or a few times a week or whatever it is.
For no good reason.
But yeah, for us, it's if we're going out and we're going to a restaurant, then we want to be eating really good food, and I want the calories to be worth it. And so yeah, we've chosen our favourite Indian restaurant in the city, and that's okay with us because we've sort of prepared for that, and the calories will be totally worth the delicious taste of the food.
Yeah, so we've planned for it. And then the final element of going out to a restaurant, if you're always going out to a restaurant, skip dessert. You don't need dessert, right? Nobody needs dessert. Just skip it. You don't need the coffees, you don't need the cake, any of that kind of stuff. It's just such high calorie for low return on your investment.
Same with alcohol as well. You've got to factor that in when you are sort of being mindful or trying to drop weight. You can have a few drinks, and it adds up to the same calories as a meal anyway. And so most people have their meal plus a few drinks, and so you're essentially eating 2 dinners or something like that, or having the sugars of two meals as well, and so you think you've only had a decent sized meal, but really you've eaten 2 meals in one. So.
It's a very interesting thing to go online and do a search on how many calories are in the foods you eat. So if you got kind of like a rough idea of the foods you eat, write them all down and then just jump on Google and just type how many calories in almonds, how many calories in beer, for example, or wine, or like 1 glass of wine, or whatever it is that you consume on a consistent basis, and just get an idea, get it right. You don't need to count your calories all the time if you don't want to. I know that could be tedious. Yeah, but just have some awareness around actually how many calories you're consuming. And there's a thing called a BMR, which is a basal metabolic rate. That's what it stands for, and that's where you can find out how many calories your body burns on a daily basis just to basically stay alive. And then it can give you an idea of how many calories you're consuming, if you can kind of tally up roughly how many you're having, and then compare that to like your baseline, your basal metabolic rate, and then see whether you're in a deficit or whether you're consuming way more calories. And that will give you also an idea of maybe why you're not losing weight, or maybe why you're not gaining weight, and if you want to gain weight, or kind of where you're at even from an energy perspective as well. So you might find that you're eating a lot of healthy foods, but you might be consuming them in massive amounts. There's a fly in here. And so the calorie consumption is so high. Nuts and oils, for example, are very high in calories, yet they're also very healthy for you. So it's something to factor in. So we've covered off the shopping, so how to manage yourself around the perimeter, things like that in shopping, in farmers markets, things like that. We've covered off eating out, tips for eating out. And then the final piece is planning for your week. So you've gone and done your shopping for the week. Now you need to plan, because you've got all this healthy food in there, so in your kitchen. So what are you going to do with that now? So often people struggle with time. Okay, people are time poor, which is very, very common. So, but yet we don't plan our food. So if you spend, say, a Sunday for 2-3 hours and completely plan and prepare food, cook up the things that you want to eat, package it up in containers, freeze it, whatever, make up salads in individual packages, then sure, it's going to maybe take 2-3 hours out of your day, but that's going to save you multiple hours throughout your week. If you're not planning and preparing your food on a Sunday or 1 day a week, then every single day you got to plan and prepare food. And it's, it takes an hour to prepare a meal, like a good meal, and then you sit down and eat it. So think about doing that for every meal that you sit down to. So when people say, I don't have time to eat healthy, that's because you haven't thought about the big picture and seen that if you spend a couple hours here, you're going to save a lot of hours here. So it's not really about time and not having time. It's about
allocating the time wisely.
It's about what you're doing in it. Okay, it's about what you're doing in your 24 hours. So a lot of people I get a lot of resistance from people when I say time's not the problem, man. You're the problem. And the resistance is that obviously that defense comes up, and it's like, well, what do you know about me? And you don't know my life and things like that. And that's cool, I don't. But if you're telling me that you're not planning your meals and you're telling me that you don't have time to eat healthy, then where's the gap? What are we going to do here? Are we a stalemate, or are you gonna try and be a bit more productive about it and save yourself time by preparing on one day and getting yourself to a point where you've just saved yourself 2 hours a day every day for the rest of the week by spending 3 hours on a Sunday. So that's what I mean by being more productive with yourself rather than blaming time, because if you're blaming time, it takes the responsibility away from you taking ownership of that thing. So that's sort of something that's really important as well. So plan it out. And even if it's the same thing for a week, man, go 7 days and just eat the same thing for 7 days. As long as it's healthy, it ain't going to kill you.
And then just change it up the next week.
Yeah, or even half a week. Just have 2 different types of things, and just do Monday to Wednesday, and then Thursday to Sunday, or whatever, and go like that. And you'll find that it'll benefit you so much. You'll lose weight, you'll gain energy, you'll get more time to do things that are productive. And you'll be healthier for it. So those are the key tips there. So these are the nutrition tips that we can give you on a big scale. So we can dive deep into micronutrients and macros and different things like that. But at this point, if you feel like you're struggling just to kind of get a balance in your life, then you don't need to worry about all that stuff, because all that stuff is just going to make it more confusing, and it's going to put you in a position where it becomes overwhelming and you just don't do it. So rather than trying to figure out like, should I be having a cucumber or should I be having a capsicum, or like what's better, like forget it, just have both. Just put them in there, like whatever you think is healthy from a vegetable perspective, just eat those things, man, and just throw them in there and just see how you go for a week. And then after a week's time, it'd be really interesting if you weighed yourself beforehand and weighed yourself after, and notice the difference, and maybe just kind of check in with yourself beforehand and see how you're feeling, and then check in with yourself at the end of the week and see how you're feeling. You'll find that if you do a whole week and follow through with it, your self-esteem will actually be higher because you followed through with something and you actually completed something. So actually getting things done and completion is very good to boost our self-esteem, and it gives you motivation to continue on and go further and do more. So that's something that you could really benefit from. So that's pretty much our message for today.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you wanted to discuss before we wrap up?
No, that's it.
Okay, and that's it for what year are we? 2015. And we'll be back next year with some more great health tips, information, recipes.
Change it up a little bit.
Yeah, we're going to try some different stuff. We're going to start interviewing some of our clients who have got great results. We're just going to do a whole bunch of awesome stuff to entertain you, give you information, educate you, and motivate you to become a healthier version of yourself, improve your life, have longevity, improve the health of your family, and so on and so forth.
That's it.
So that's it from us. JK Show. I'm Jai Brzeski.
Kate Brzeski.
Have the best day ever.
Thank you.